Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the Bod Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 181 here in May. It's already May.
It's May.
May 6th, 2020. I am Clyde, and today I am joined by Matthew Ross.
Hey, everybody.
Michael Aston, who's muted as usual, and Jimmy Trammell.
Hey guys, how's it going?
I do that on purpose now.
Okay. I just figured it's your shtick now.
It's my shtick. It's my thing, so I do it on purpose now.
What's going on, everybody?
Mostly normal stuff. You know, the weather's getting warm. Air conditioning is going to be a thing soon. It's we're getting a little stir crazy in the house.
It's getting warm. It was 50 yesterday.
It's going to hit 80 this weekend. It's going to be both wonderful and horrible.
We get the roller coaster where it'll be like, it's in the 70s. Oh, wait, nope. Now it's 40.
I have to say, I am looking forward to getting a haircut.
Oh, are you going to get one?
Can't you order a haircut through like Amazon?
I went and just did it. I used my beard trimmer and a comb and trimmed it down, and then I had my wife make it look semi-decent, and I was like, this is good enough. I can't handle it anymore.
Well, at one quarter of 720p, you should be okay. And don't blow them up too big, otherwise the hair.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when I go back to my barber, she's gonna be like, "What in the crap did you do to your hair? Did you have a lawnmower accident or something?" I
have a feeling you will not be the only one where it has to be done.
Yeah. My only hope is that it's far enough from now that my hair will be to a point that she can rescue it by then.
I'm hoping to grow my hair out nice and long because I actually like long hair. So I'm enjoying the no haircut club that we're enjoying here. But I don't know. Eventually we'll have to cut him again. My son's hair is a mop now. He really needs a haircut. So
yeah, I'll probably go to my stylist and say, "Oh, help me, Obi-Wan. You're my only hope."
So now you have to search for a barber whose name is actually Obi-Wan.
Or Ben, at least.
Or at least Ben.
That would be a cool name.
Yeah, I'm sure there are people out there named that, I wouldn't be surprised. Should we talk about the week's news?
I guess. You sure you don't want to talk about like Val Kilmer or Kelly McGillis?
Hell, I want to. Yes, that's okay. You have to be here for the pre-show to get all that, though. So, too bad you didn't show up early. We'll talk about the TiVo streaming stick. They've got a brand new TiVo has a brand new Android-based, not Roku-based, 4K TV stick. It's a dongle that attaches to the back of your TV. And it gives you all the 4K goodness of streaming for all the various platforms with a very support for TiVo support. And it's only going to be $50. So this is the one that was shown off at CES recently. Well, look at that pre-show shot. This is the one that's integrated fairly well with the Sling app, correct? And it was one you guys saw at CES?
Well, we didn't see it. We've talked about it a couple times over the last 6 months or more. TiVo announced that they were working with Android or with Google to make their own streaming device.
Right.
It's finally been released. I believe, I don't know exactly what it looks like. Based on the screenshots, it looks to be heavily skinned. They on the website, they don't mention Google anywhere other than in supported apps. It says Google Play Store. And it's got the button because I'm there. The thing that I like about it right off the bat is it has the familiar TiVo shaped remote.
Right. You like that remote. You've always
I
said
love that remote, except this one is the short, stubby one that they're doing now, not the super big one, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But I don't know if it's going to be like the Air TV was. Air TV was the one that booted you, or when you started up, it brought you straight into Sling TV because it was made by Sling. It was their product. I don't know if this is going to be like that, but I know it will be heavily integrated so that if you're a Sling subscriber, then you get TiVo-like functionality baked in, or Sling's baked into that. Bottom line, if you're interested, order it now because they're $20 off. So you can get it for $50, free shipping. The price will go up to $70 at the end of the month. I have ordered mine. So yeah.
So I got it. The one thing that I'm curious about on this, and this is coming from my experience mostly with the Fire TV devices. I have not had good luck with the sticks, and I will include the Roku stick as well, with the sticks or the dongle type devices. I don't know if it's because they overheat or they just don't quite have as much power, but I have consistently found that they have some glitches and difficulty after using them for prolonged periods, which is common with my kids.
So dongles and sticks need to be rebooted on a regular basis because they're always on. They don't have the ability for cooling. They typically have much less memory because of, the form factor. So that's one of those things where if you start having or seeing like sluggish or whatever, just reboot it. Then that's the thing about this that I'm not super excited about because, like you're pointing out, it's the whole reason that I was running the the Roku 4, and then I am now all of my Rokus are the Ultras. That and the fact that as a network engineer, I don't trust Wi-Fi. I want a Ethernet cable.
Good man.
So, and I can tell you the professional explanation for Wi-Fi, how it works, is voodoo. Because there is no rhyme or reason why certain things work and certain things don't.
There is voodoo involved.
It's voodoo.
There are tricks that they use that they don't know why they work. Literally, there are some things that they do. It's like, we're not certain why this works, but it does.
Yeah, I was talking with a guy at CES many years ago, one of my first time, where they had a cut open of a device and it had the antenna in this weird position. And I asked him, I said, why is the antenna there? He said, it's the only place it would work. Don't know why, but you move it like 5 degrees, doesn't work. And I said voodoo. He said, yeah.
Some of that antenna technology they've gotten figured out now. They've done a lot of science.
But yeah, there's a lot of things where, and it'll work perfectly, but then you move it into a room and then just, nope. Why doesn't it work in here? I don't know.
Yep.
Everything else works in here.
Last thing I'll say about this device, I'm sure they'll make hundreds of dollars.
I think this will do okay. Especially for people that there has been a need for more devices to utilize Android TV.
There is a need of more well-recognized brand names.
That's what I'm talking about.
To sell a decently priced Android TV.
But
basically, your options were some name of a brand you've never heard of before from China. A Mi Box, which you may have heard of before, but right now is in bad news because apparently they're stealing everybody's data because it's China. You can buy an NVIDIA Shield for $150, $200 if you want a really high-end one, which we recommend because they are awesome, but they are $150, $200. So,
and then the other companies like Asus and
they don't make anymore.
They don't do it anymore. They did initially, and Razer, their Forge, they bailed on that early.
Right.
Yeah, it's so. But the thing is, I have a feeling, like I said, based on the screenshots, this looks like it's heavily skinned. So
Sure.
it may be more akin to the Fire devices, which are running Android. But
yeah,
you couldn't tell. At least they're actually running Android TV,
So
not
if
just
you-
AOSP.
If you ask me, this is fine because while the standard interface for Android TV is fine, it's not great.
Oh, and I'm not
So
saying
if-
that's a negative. I'm just
TiVo
saying
can
I
improve
don't
it,
know what to
go for it.
expect. Because I'm
Yeah.
looking personally for a new Android TV, but this may the verdict's out on whether or not I'm going to love it. I like the Android TV as it is,
Right.
so we'll see. I'll either love it or I'll hate it, and we'll know here in a few days.
So
Yeah, well-
if it's a good device, my hope would be that they come out with a small form factor standalone device like the Fire TV Cube or the Roku Ultra. Again, as you indicated, as I indicated, I think those tend to be better devices and work, and they're worth the extra, $50, $100 or whatever.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It comes down to the user base and is the demand there?
Yeah.
Because, so.
Hundreds of dollars.
Oh, I think they'll far exceed hundreds of dollars, but yes.
So I'll and I do want to mention, Wabbit Magic's comment about if the software is written correctly, you never need to reboot anything. I would say as a software engineer, that's somewhat true, though I will also caveat there is definitely a hardware element to that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
if
mean,
the hardware is designed and built correctly and the software is written correctly, you will never have to reboot anything.
Yeah, the issue is with a stick, there are sacrifices you have to make in order to fit the hardware into that form factor. And that one of those sacrifices is cooling.
Yeah.
Yes.
And heat is the enemy. So no amount of coding is going to fix a physical overheating issue on something if you're using it all the time or even just letting it sit idle. But yeah.
I would argue just to say that you can write a program that never needs to be rebooted, but generally those are written in assembly. Just so, because there's no interpretation, there's no compiling.
Yeah, I've written software that required reboots. I always blame it on the hardware. It's never actually been the hardware's fault, but that's my favorite line.
All right. Hey, if you have been like me and been using your Google Home to broadcast your audio throughout your house, Android TVs have been able to be a speaker for you for a couple of years now, where you were able to choose them as part of your as one of your emitters of your various audio for throughout your house. But now, as a new update is coming out, Android TV is now becoming available as part of speaker groups, which means I can now update my whole house speaker group in my house to include all my Android TV. So it will blare from my TV as well when I'm playing that one song through the whole house again.
Hopefully this will also include the new TiVo Stream 4K. soon.
Very likely will if it gets the base functionality out of the Android TV. So I suspect so. So
That would
yeah,
be cool.
this feature is a really amazing. It's kind of been done by everything now, but I love it, especially if you're having a lot of people over and you're having a big party. It is so wonderful to have the music playing everywhere, and everywhere you can choose your own volume. So in this place you can turn it down. That place you can have it blaring, and it's so nice. I love that.
So you got to blare it in the bathroom.
Yes,
and then
of course.
to drown out the noises that you don't want people outside hearing.
Hey, if I go into a bathroom and it's got a fan, I turn the fan on. Not for any other reason than the white noise, dude. That's what you need it there for.
I gotta say, I agree. I love this feature. We have it set up with the with our Amazon Echoes, and it's great. Though I feel like this is one of those things that you're like, well, duh, that's a feature that should have always been there. Though the last time I checked, which admittedly has been months, you could not do the same thing with the Echo devices. The Fire TVs could not be set up as speakers on a speaker group. I can do all of my
Amazon's like way ahead of you.
Yeah, usually Amazon is a little bit ahead, but in this case, it seems like it's behind. Now, again, I haven't tried it.
That's true.
In maybe 6 months or more, but I do have all my Echoes so that I can. My favorite moment was my daughter started freaking out because I played Baby Shark in the living room to annoy her, and so she ran into another room, and so I just turned it on the Everywhere group, and it was playing everywhere in the entire house.
At which point, everybody in the house came to you bearing some type of improvised weapon, correct?
No, everybody was laughing hysterically except my daughter.
I kept doing that to my kids and that worked on the Roku as well. So they would be watching Roku, or they in their room they'd be watching TV, and then it would just switch over to YouTube and start playing that. They kept changing it back, and it kept coming, and they come running to me, and I'm like, "What's going on?"
Me? What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Something's wrong with the TV. What'd you do?
Speaking of Android, we have an update here that the people who've been working on the Google Stadia have been working really hard on getting the Android TV support. And they are going to be working on getting it up to 4K/HDR support for the Stadia. So you will be able to play your Stadia games in full 4K on your Android devices, on your Android-powered TVs as well, and with the enjoyment of your HDR support and 4K. So it's coming. Has anybody played any Stadia?
Nope. I've been waiting because I don't have I didn't want to play it on my computer, and this was the thing that I had been wanting from the very beginning. Was
right.
It made more sense to put it on the higher horsepower Android TV devices, not the Chromecast. Agreed. Which is a glorified stick with very little logic.
Right. It's a dumb pipe. Thank goodness. That's what it's supposed to be, and that's what it is, and that's great.
Yeah.
I've been playing just a little bit with it.
Is it getting better?
It's not bad. It's the lag is still there. I've had actually 2 different times I've tried it. One time the lag was much worse, and one time the lag was almost nothing. So it all depends. And but yeah, it's completely playable. It's just not a lot of games I actually want to play on it. The platform still doesn't have a lot of games I'm like, okay, this is a game I really wanted to play. And it's getting better because they have been announcing a lot more games. I think Doom Eternal is now on it, and I don't know if I want to play Doom Eternal or not, but it's Doom. That's a good thing. But I played the Destiny 2 just to try it out. Not a bad game, and yeah, it plays well. Yeah, I liked it.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's not bad. Depends on the games that you want to play, but it's good service.
All right, Stadia also has one more update for us this week. The Stadia's game controller has traditionally only worked with Android phones and that special Roku Ultra that they sold with
wirelessly.
So you were not be able to work with the various other with the desktop systems. Well, they've just got an update that you can now work wirelessly on the Stadia controller with your computer, which is one of these "why wasn't this already" thing a while ago questions that we've been asking for a long time. So
I just use this.
you use the wireless one. I use the
Xbox
wired one.
was Xbox commercial. Yeah.
Yeah, I use a wired one. It was cheap. It works great.
Yep. Cool. This is something that should have worked out of the box, but glad that they finally got it.
I'd like to get
Figured
my
out.
hands on with that controller to see if I like it. Only because I love trying different controllers.
Yeah.
But
It reminds me a lot of the
PlayStation.
Steam OS controller before they went to the weird touch.
oh,
Like
they had one before.
the first one that they had when they were at CES showing off in was that 2014 when they first announced Steam OS. And then this stuff went through many iterations, but
Okay.
I liked it. That kind of has a Logitech vibe to it.
It does, and that's not necessarily
No, that's not. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I typically like Logitech controllers. It's just more that Logitech has that aesthetic on their controllers, the more stripped down kind of
streamline.
kind of streamlined. Yeah.
All right,
Cool.
Apple TV has updated their app. They now have an app available for you to watch the American Film Institute's movies on Movie Club. They basically set it up so you can. They have various movies being set up to watch off of this service. They are going through a series of them for you to watch, and you can browse their collection on there. Are you planning to watch any of these AFI movies on your Apple TV?
So I think the important thing to mention here, right, is
Did I miss
this is
something?
a curated list
Right.
that you have to pay for the show to watch it.
Mhm.
It is not included with the service. So you can rent or buy it. If it's streaming on like Netflix or something, they'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it is just a list of, it is today's pick of
It's
a great
integration.
show to watch.
well, the key word there is curated, right? So the Apple TV app, not Apple TV Plus, that's two different things,
Mhm.
right? But the Apple TV app is a curation of all the things that you're watching. So if you subscribe to this service, it'll show up in your watch list in the Apple TV app. That's what it's saying.
Okay.
Right.
Well, no, that's good to know. And are you have you planning to watch any of these, Jimmy?
Any of the movies?
Yeah, any of these AFI films?
You think you'll add that to your list?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
I've watched some movies out of this before. I don't subscribe to the service currently, but yeah, I've watched some of these movies.
So, up until this point, I thought AFI was just a band. I didn't know that they were also doing stuff with movies.
Yeah, I think they've AFI's Top 100 has been a thing for years and things like that.
But AFI has only been a band since like the mid 90s.
Yeah, but that's different. Hey, Tableau users, if you've been a Tableau user, you've been enjoying your commercial skip feature for a while. Tableau has announced that they've made a big improvement to the Tableau skip feature so that it will be better at handling how commercials don't always are easily or cleanly cut from your program. For example, the new update will allow it to automatically detect that there is a little tiny bit of programming right at the end of your entire recording. You know, that stinger sometimes they have that they cut off. I know Clyde gets angry when he misses that last bit sometimes. It's a little bit better at handling if there's some type of if the broadcaster accidentally clips something off poorly with that because they do a bad cut to a commercial or from commercial. It does a pretty good job of sandwich content. This is like those pieces of those putting a little piece of content in between ads. I hate those, by the way. Those are the worst.
That is the worst crime that Hollywood has perpetrated.
The worst version of that I've ever seen was on Fox's Lethal Weapon.
Yeah. And I would
Because
say it's even worse than when Hollywood was making propaganda movies for the Nazis.
wow. But anyways, no, the that one there, which they put a little piece of content in the middle, which was adjacent related to the storyline, but not important enough that you couldn't skip it, but also had an ad in it built into it, like by Microsoft or something like that. It was stupid. I hated those. Sorry. Anyways, if you've been using the Tableau interface and you've been enjoying what they say is about 600 hours, 300 hours of time being saved in an average person's lifetime of watching ads, oh, it's going to be even better for you guys. You know, when I was looking at the various options to record over the air stuff, Tableau was on my short list of what I was thinking of getting, and I never pulled the trigger on that, mostly because I can't get anything over the air around here. But if I could have, I would have definitely gone for it for one.
Yeah. I was surprised when I saw this article because I thought Tableau was the one that kind of got shut down quietly like a year or two ago, but that was HD Home Run, I guess, that I'm thinking of.
No, HD Home Run also
one of those. There was like 4 that came out, and then there was one
Channel Master, Tableau. And there was, you're right, there was one.
There was one that
a
went away.
White box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that was Tableau. So I'm happy to see that the Tableau is still kicking.
Good for them. Keep it up, guys. Yeah. A deal has been announced between Pluto TV and Verizon. Verizon and Pluto are working together to make sure that they have are on each other's services. Verizon customers will have access to easy access to the Pluto TV's live streams and to their various streams and shows, and they will make it a prominent inside their various services. So you will be able to easily get to your Pluto content through either your Verizon phone or your Fios internet service. Mm-hmm. So this is money being exchanged hands in the background. And if you listen to another popular cutting show, you might recognize that these are the two that Verizon's the one big telecom company who doesn't own any kind of network. Mm-hmm. So this could possibly be the beginning of them trying to own some network, although they technically are owned by Viacom CBS. So the theory would be that Verizon buys Viacom CBS. Oh.
Well, wait a minute. Yeah. Explain this to me again. I mean, if you're a Verizon customer, you couldn't get Pluto TV before?
No, you totally can. But now blasted in your face on the front of the interface is a new button for Pluto TV.
Ah, okay. Now
it's integrated in now, as opposed to being something you could get from the store.
At least Pluto TV is halfway decent.
My favorite part of this is that you can't uninstall these from your phone after you buy them, because that makes a lot of sense and is a wonderful Android built-in feature at that point. Thanks, Verizon. Mm-hmm. This annoys me just because there's going to be one more piece of software on my phone that I can't uninstall.
I'm not a Verizon customer, so...
Me either.
Sucks to be you.
I was a Verizon customer when I had that mini StarTech in Boston. It was fine. Better than that, no.
Yeah. I've got enough stuff to deal with from AT&T, so...
my feeling is, unfortunately I have to deal with Verizon. As long as I don't have to deal with AT&T, I'm okay with that.
Choose your evil. Pick your poison.
All I gotta say, Verizon gives you Pluto TV. T-Mobile gives you Netflix.
Yeah, it's true. I gotta say, like this, the minor tangent reminds me of my favorite moment on Community in the last week, where one of the characters says to one of the other characters, "You're the AT&T of people."
Pretty awesome.
And so I'm like,
he's everywhere. He's kind of reliable, but kind of crummy, and
the worst service you could possibly
He's
receive.
not very
from
good at giving,
anybody.
if you need customer service, not really going to get good. Hard to get a hold of.
I always laugh when people say
works hard.
the worst service, because there are so many times where I'm the only one that has actual cell service.
No, customer service.
Oh, customer service. Oh yeah, no.
AT&T service is actually good.
No, AT&T's yeah. Despite what
if
Apple
you're
tried
covered,
to
it's
convince
good.
you of for years and years and years, no, it wasn't the service, it was the device.
Yeah.
Hey, blame the hardware. Is that the title of the episode?
Yes.
I accept that different people have different experiences, but I've had the worst experiences with AT&T than any other, like repeatedly. Like my 3 worst experiences with any company are all with AT&T.
Yeah. Now, I will say, when I flew into Vegas in January and my phone wasn't working, and they said, well, you just need to call us. We don't know what's wrong. It's like, I can't freaking call you because my phone isn't working. And
It's like calling the internet customer support.
I spent
Please
the
check our
entire first
website.
day wait until Mike came in, trying to figure out how to get calls on my phone. I had to go sit outside Best Buy, steal their Wi-Fi so that I could make calls through Google Voice. Oh, it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
And then it just started working.
Yeah. Mobile service, I tend to agree, but the fiber service I use now, they're pretty good there.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, so Facebook's been doing this, trying to raise money for various causes around the times. And right now they're doing a tennis match, and they're using Mario Tennis to do some virtual tennis matches around the world, trying to save money.
And who's playing?
And they've decided to get a lot of people on there. They like Naomi Osaka, Nishikori, I cannot pronounce these, and the Williams sisters. Wait a second. Didn't we talk about something about this last week?
I called it. I think this is another time where we called it, and this phenomenon needs a name.
Last week we said I want to see those two playing.
I said you said like
tennis.
One of the William. I said it better be both of them, and somebody said I don't know if you can get both of them. I said, but it better be both of them.
But I also want to see them actually playing the game. I want to see the game, but I want to see like them.
Mm-hmm. So I think this phenomenon needs a name.
Oh yeah.
And from now on, we'll refer to this as Vodstradamus. The soothsayer predictions that come true.
We're right 2% of the time. Well, that's awesome. I don't like Facebook, but I actually might watch this. Who knows? I'm not a big.
Is there a way to watch it without signing in?
I don't know. Maybe. Or is there a way I could like find somebody else's account to use, like somebody's dummy account I could use to watch it on? Because I
think they only cost like $3 or $4 on the dark web.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
Well, don't you have to like sell your soul in order to access the dark web? If so, that price is already too high.
Yeah, I was kind of
for anyways. Come on.
I was kind of excited about this until I heard it was on Facebook.
Sorry. Didn't mean to bring you down. Hey, Quibi has decided that maybe it's a good idea people can watch their stuff to find out if it's any good. And maybe it's a good idea that you could watch it maybe on a big screen, because Quibi has put the previews of a couple of episodes of its shows on YouTube for you to watch. And so before the show started, we were kind of talking around, and I was like, hey, let me turn on one of these episodes and they'll see if it's anything that looks halfway decent. And so I turned on the first episode of The Stranger while we were talking, and I was bored in about 30 seconds. I
10 minutes is too long.
This might be too long for me.
So
I
wasn't sure you could accomplish anything in 10 minutes, but it's way too long.
Let me just ask, and I hope the answer is no. Is The Stranger
Wow.
a show about a guy touching himself with his non-dominant hand?
No.
Okay, good.
As far as I could tell, it's about somebody who is like a invent your fake Lyft driver, and is going to pick up somebody at their house, and apparently the stranger wants, is getting in the car. It looked weird. It didn't seem that exciting to me. It was already kind of like, really? I don't know if this is. I mean, if it was a short show like this, I really wanted to grab my attention right away, and it really was not. It was taking
10
its
minutes
time.
is 9.5 minutes too long, right?
No, I think 10 minutes is 10 minutes too long.
But
I
it took
mean,
you 30 seconds to realize
if you
that.
have to put your stuff on another platform to get people to do it, that's not a good sign, especially when they don't right now even have to pay for it
I know.
on your platform.
Quibi will, I bet you anything, Quibi will survive. It will be vastly changed from its current form. It will be purchased by somebody else, and it will become something else entirely than what it currently is. It will actually be like get your attention short videos.
I mean, some of the best things, some of the best loved things were vilely or absolutely hated to begin with. Perfect example. Everybody remembers Windows XP fondly. For the first at least 3 years, it was utter trash.
Before Service Pack 1, yes. I remember that.
And I would say Service Pack 2, but yes.
1 was a huge improvement. 2
it
was even better.
but that's my point. But when history looks back, people regard XP fondly enough that they don't want to move off of it, right?
Here, let me translate this for Jimmy.
Not you, Jimmy. I'm talking.
No, Jimmy. I'll translate it for you. It's like when Mac OS 9 first came out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm up to speed.
So,
but if you think Quibi's going to turn into this something else, then I mean, to me, you sound like you're describing trailers to me.
So I think that they're going to make a couple shifts. There is potential for them to become something good. I just don't think they're there yet. They haven't reached that aha moment.
They haven't figured out the format that works for what they're trying to do.
Like when Hulu started as a way to prove that people didn't want legitimate content online.
And then they proved themselves right or wrong.
Proved themselves wrong. And at first they weren't great either. But now they, have made changes. Some of the changes made people angry in the moment. But now Hulu is one of the top services and will always be remembered for that unless they do something major to kill their credibility. Because then you're always remembered for the last thing you did. But yeah.
Quibi, when will you become something good? Good, I ask you, because now you are.
It took XP at least 3 years before it was good.
So a little bit longer than a Quibi.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, Plex. Plex keeps adding things to its interface. It's becoming more of a full service type of platform more than their just play videos thing, which is why I have actually looked around for an alternative for it and have kind of found a couple of things. But I still like my Plex. And Plex has added Crackle movies and TV shows to its free streaming service. And this is exactly the thing that got us onto an entire tangent on pre-show about Val Kilmer, because it had right on front The Saint, which was a excellent movie that we all said was pretty good.
I have always liked Crackle.
Yeah,
but
it's Sony,
I don't
basically, right?
use it as much as I should. Right. And I started using it initially because my first streaming box was a Sony device. It was a dedicated device for streaming. It didn't have Netflix yet because Netflix was still in beta on the TiVo. And basically there wasn't much you could get but Crackle. They had their Crackle channel. So yeah, I had like Godzilla movies and a whole bunch of stuff. And then that's where I watched the majority of Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee.
Right.
You know, which is a great show. Crackle's got
Yes.
some good originals.
Yes.
And they've got some rotating library. People need to check it out more. Yes, it is ad supported, so you'll have to sit through some ads, but you know, who cares?
Right.
It's free.
Yeah, I agree with that, Clyde. I mean, yeah, I found the service to be pretty good too in the past. Now I haven't used it in a while, right?
Mhm.
The only complaint I had about it the last time I used it was the fidelity.
Yeah.
The fidelity wasn't quite as good as it was on other services. Maybe now, maybe it's better now, but
I'd say I don't think they've done a good job of keeping up because their fidelity was good when it was great when you couldn't even stream 1080 on from Netflix.
right.
Now that everything's in 4K, I don't know if they've really kept up. Because Sony's not, I don't know if you're familiar with Sony, but they don't have a good track record of supporting stuff that doesn't make them tons of money. I mean, hell, they have a hard time getting support for their current game consoles. So I don't know. I need to try that out here. I keep running out of stuff to watch. So
Yeah, I need to go back and try Crackle again because when I was watching it, this has been like maybe a little over a year ago. I was really enjoying it, but this was also not too long after I had bought my first 4K television as well, and I think that's where I started noticing the fidelity wasn't quite as good as the other, right? And then I just kind of diverted off to other things, but yeah, I need to go back and give these guys another try for sure.
All right, and one last story for today. HBO Max. They've been talking about HBO Max for a while now, trying to promote it for its big opening, which is coming out. And they've been telling everybody, hey, it's going to be the same cost as HBO, only $15 a month. So you can get the same thing. If you have certain platforms, they'll automatically transfer you over as long as they've got the agreement with the carriers. Or if you are just buying it outright, you also will automatically get transferred over to the new price. But they have a promotion going on right now. HBO Max is going to be for sale for $12 for the first year if you buy now.
First month. Oh wait, no, it is first year.
For
Holy
the
crap!
first year.
Okay. If anybody out there is currently a HBO Now subscriber, this is
The
a
time.
no-brainer.
Right.
If you say no, I don't like that it's called Max. I want to stay with Now. That's just dumb. Save $4 a month and get more stuff.
I agree.
Yeah. If you're someone that isn't paying for HBO and trying to get them to sign up, this is going to be a little bit easier because, hey, this is what I pay for a month of Hulu with no ads.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, $12. It isn't. I'm not a HBO subscriber. I have in the past, and the $12 is just a little bit too much, in my opinion. I know HBO has some good stuff. There's not a lot that really is going to draw me to it, and it's not cheap enough to justify me committing to that. So, in contrast, like Disney Plus was like $144 for 3 years. And so I just bought in and went for it. And so I've got like 3 plus I got an extra year out of Verizon. So I got like 4 years of Disney Plus. I don't even have to think about it. This, it's not quite enough to get me to buy in. If it was a little less, under $10, like $9.99 a month, I'd probably go ahead and give it a try for a year. 12's just,
Yeah.
like,
And so
it's not enough to catch me.
let me rephrase. I'm talking about people that are interested in getting HBO. Because if you don't know if HBO has programming you want, then yeah, 12's probably not. But if you're someone that's like, you know what, I've been waiting, I need to catch up on Deadwood and Carnival and The Sopranos and all the things that I never watched, that it's, now is the perfect time. Sign up for your 12 bucks a month. It's the same as Hulu. There's going to be a lot of content for you. I get HBO for free, and I never open that app because they rarely have anything I want to watch. So,
right.
Because
I watched Game of Thrones and enjoyed most of it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I would probably watch Silicon Valley if I had HBO, but I'm not going to buy it to watch it, right? And so, I mean, maybe if it was really cheap, again, that's the thing. So yeah, I agree with you. This is going to entice people that are on the edge, but if they're really looking to bump their subscriber base, they want to get people that are mildly curious or only thinking a little bit about it, like me.
I just thought of who's going to sign up for this. All the people, because if you remember, over the last month, HBO's been free on pretty much every platform. You got people that are dipping their toes in, like, let's say Bryce or Neshcom or, other people that are like, oh, hey, I never watched The Sopranos. All these people that getting started on a series,
get them hooked
here in a couple days, at the end of the month, when that all comes to an end. What are you going to do? Do you want to continue watching? You can continue watching all of these shows that you started for $12.99.
Yep.
So
that's true. I don't know. It seems it seems like it's a good deal, especially since it's cheaper than the normal thing. I mean, if you're going to be watching HBO for whatever reason, they have all kinds of stuff. Maybe not as much as I would hope they would have either, but it is, especially for the price. But it is pretty good stuff nonetheless. So I'd say a lot of people will probably be jumping on this one way or the other. I mean, who knows? I might jump on it because we just like watching some of the movies that are on there sometimes. All right, and well, with that, I think that is the week's news.
Yeah, and that brings us to the point in the show where we like to say thank you for all of the beautiful people that keep us doing this every week for the past 4 years.
Aww.
In August, it'll be 4 years.
Aww.
Holy cow.
Right?
I think
so. Yeah. Yeah, so, patrons, you guys are awesome. You saw value in what we do and took it upon yourself to support us. And I don't know if we're deserving, but we are grateful. If you are someone out there that finds value in what we do here every week and would like to become a patron, that's patreon.com/the VOD Squad. And indeed, thank you. All right. Well,
wow. 4 years. Who was president back then?
I don't think we had a president back then.
What's a president?
There is no precedent for... but what there is precedent for alrighty, rants, raves, what do you guys got going on?
Who wants to go first? Because I can go first, but
You
I
can go first. You're in the
All right.
first.
Fair enough. My wife said, "Hey, let's watch the entire MCU in chronological order." At which point I mentally prepared myself and said, "Okay, that's like 20 movies. That's 40. That's a lot of movies." That being said, we do have extra time, where some downtime, and it's all PG, so we can watch it whenever we want. It's not gonna hurt any. So we've been watching in order all the various MCU movies by chronological order. So not Iron Man, Captain America: First Avenger, then Captain Marvel, then Iron Man 1, 2, and Thor, and we just started the Avengers last night, or today. So
Are you gonna watch the Incredible Hulk ones?
there was a question of whether or not we should watch the Incredible Hulk. At which point I turned to my wife and said, I actually like the Edward Norton one. Okay, it's not great, but it's not horrible. It's not. But here's what you need to know: he gets big, green, and angry. Other than that, sure, there's Colonel Ross, and he kind of becomes part of the whole storyline too. But you don't need to know anything else. He gets big, green, and angry.
Yeah.
So we skipped it.
I never saw any of the Incredible Hulk movies. I just don't care. So there have been a couple things when I was watching some of the other MCU movies where I went, I don't understand, and I had to look, and it was like, oh, that's a reference to
a friend of mine said the best way to have an Incredible Hulk movie is to not star the Incredible Hulk, but to star somebody else, and the Incredible Hulk is a force of nature you have to deal with.
Right. I mean, Ragnarok is the best Incredible Hulk movie.
Sure.
Would that make it a credible Hulk movie?
I would argue yes. Anyways, that's been doing all that, and then I decided because everybody else went to do their own things in their own corners of the house, and I was sitting there. I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to watch Frozen 2. I don't know why. Must have been all the Disney stuff that we were watching too, and so I decided to watch Frozen 2. No, I wasn't impressed. It was okay. It wasn't great. My opinion, it was fine.
See, I think you experienced exactly why what I'm afraid of experiencing is the fact that if you were watching it with your children, it probably...
My son could care less.
Well, no, I'm saying if you were watching it with your children who were enjoying it, then you, in addition to watching the movie, the stuff that's bad gets made up for by the fact that you get to watch your child enjoy this thing that you facilitated, but then when that's not there, then it's just...
Yeah,
I'm a grown adult watching this, and it's not great. Why am I still watching this?
The soundtrack for Frozen 2 is as good, if not slightly better than Frozen 1. So the fact that Matt dislikes the movie, I kind of feel like that puts him into the Clyde category of you're a little broken.
No, I would argue the songs of Frozen 2 were not as funny as the ones of Frozen 1. I would argue the songs of Frozen 2 are not as catchy as they were in Frozen 1. And I'd argue that there are a lot of songs in Frozen 2 and perhaps one too many for the movie. I know somewhere it just felt a little full. That's okay, but it's just how I feel about it.
That's okay. People are entitled to their opinions, even when they are wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and we can go into back into it during the post show.
Of course.
My complaint was not so much about the movie; it was about one particular song. It was an aspect that I think ruined the song that would otherwise have been spectacular for me, but. We'll talk about that later.
Sure. That's it for me.
Okay. Mike?
Yeah, I don't have a lot. Obviously, I've continued to watch Community, which I still continue to enjoy greatly. We're in the second season. But on Monday, May 4th, Star Wars Day, my daughter's birthday, we got up early. Well, I didn't get up early. I had to get up for work. But once my daughter woke up, I took lunch at like 9 a.m. and watched Star Wars with her so we could see the final episode of the Clone Wars as soon as we possibly could. And so final episode of the final season, which is the second final season because the original final season was season 6 several years ago. Just to make sure everybody's not confused.
Confused, but that's okay. I can hear you.
Was excellent. A wonderful wrap up to the season, to the series. It is everything that you want in a Star Wars show, and it kind of gives me, as a Star Wars fan, it's like what I wish that I would have felt and gotten out of the new movies. It's everything that a Star Wars person could want and love. So if you're a Star Wars fan at all and you haven't seen the Clone Wars, you owe it to yourself. Really, I recommend watching the whole series, but the final season is, you probably can't quite get the full amount of it without having seen the character that the final season is really about develop and grow over the years. So it's probably worth seeing the whole seven seasons. It's amazing. Absolutely outstanding. The final season, the last 3-4 episodes are unbelievable.
Okay. My only worry with that is that I feel like if I were to watch those seasons or anything like that, I'd have to watch the whole series to get up to that, and that's a huge investment. And I don't know if I want to invest that type.
Yeah, you should watch all 7 seasons so you know who Ahsoka is, because that's what this whole season's really about.
Plus, wasn't there another series?
There's 2 animated series. The other one includes Ahsoka as well. Rebels does have Ahsoka as well. So you definitely, but you don't need to watch Rebels because Rebels happens after Clone Wars, the entirety. So
when you're done with Clone Wars, then you have to watch Rebels.
You want to. I mean, I can't imagine not wanting to.
So like Star Wars. So what do we got right now? We're signing them up. Matt, what's it going to take to get you into these 12 seasons? I've got a little room for flexibility. I could talk to my manager. Just let me know, what is it going to take?
I just need to know what the hourly rate is. Then I'll let you know.
Well,
and I want bathroom
these
breaks.
are all on Disney Plus, right?
Yes.
So I'm sure we could get you a complimentary access.
I have access. It's okay.
Well, I mean, we get you complimentary access. That makes it even better because
Yeah.
I'm not
Question in the chat room there, Mike. Are these on Disney
Clone
Plus?
Wars is on Disney Plus. I believe Rebels is now. It didn't start out there when they first started it, but I think that it's transitioned on there. But Clone Wars, all of it is on Disney Plus for sure.
Very cool.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, Jimmy.
Yep. So I finished watching the new season of Bosch. Another excellent season there in that show. And I'm excited. They just released the first episode of Billions, the new season.
Oh, yeah.
So I haven't watched that one yet, but I'm looking forward to it. I think I want to sign up for it. Sign up for Showtime as I always do this time of year when Billions comes out.
Yeah.
Also, too, if you like that show like I do and like to sign up for Showtime, Hulu is having a sale on Showtime for $5 a month, $4.99 a month for 3 months. So just enough time to watch
Billions. Your Billions. I may have to do that.
Yeah.
I thought Billions wasn't. I thought the first episode wasn't until this weekend.
It came out. I think they released it on Sunday.
Yeah, I thought it was coming out on like what is it, the 10th? Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. I guess I got something to watch now.
And I think you can watch that first episode without a subscription, I believe.
Yeah. Probably. Oh, and I know why. I think because Showtime, they will do like a preview of the first episode like 2 weeks early sometimes. And then you're stuck waiting because you come back the next week and it's like, nope, it's the same episode.
Right.
It was a.
I'll always
week
wait
early
a
preview.
couple of weeks before I jump in anyway.
Yeah. Word. Anything else?
No, that's it for me.
All right. Well, I ordered a TiVo HD thing today.
Yep.
I think it's going to be my rave, but it very well might be my rant in a couple weeks. I mean, but,
You will let us know. You
Oh.
are on. You're going to be reviewing this for us, obviously.
yeah, I'm sure that nobody expects me to be quiet about anything. So if I don't like it, everybody's going to know.
You know, your name isn't Poodle pulled his punches.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
But no, I forgot to mention earlier though that I've been waiting. For past few months I've been saying I want a new Android TV device, and there hasn't really been anything new worth buying. I was looking at TVs, and I almost considered a TV that had Android TV over a Roku one, just because I've got so many Roku devices,
right.
and I don't want to use Roku built in, so I may as well get, if I get a new TV, I may as well get one that has Android TV, because then I can at least switch between them.
Yep.
But hopefully this will scratch that itch, and then we can get some additional content. So
Very cool.
all right. Well, I think that'll wrap it up for this week. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us. Stick around for the post show. We will be choosing titles. If you go to tvs.showbot.tv, it's over there in the chat. If you're checking this out after the fact, we do this live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central here on Twitch. Come join us. That's where all the fun happens. You get to participate in the chat. You get to submit titles, and you get to vote on them. You also get to be around for the pre and post show.
Where we going to talk about silly things.
Yep. And
Many silly things.
sometimes serious things. Never know.
That's
You
true.
never know where the post show is going to go. And I wasn't intended to rhyme, but it works.
Okay.
So
Well, let it go.
yeah. Call back.
Didn't mean to.
Alrighty. Well, we're going to let it go all the way to the post show. See you guys later. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.